Hey guys, we're here at GDC. I'm with Brian Duke from Acceleroto, and he's going to be showing off his new game, Unpossible.
Hey, thanks.
Hi Brian.
How's it going?
Okay, so Unpossible. What's this game all about?
So in general, the short elevator pitch is it's an obstacle course on a crazy straw. So it is.
Okay.
You are flying down a tube, and the tube bends through space. Kind of a sci-fi world, and your job is to avoid obstacles and get as far as you can. Inspired by a lot of recent games, Super Hexagon. Pivot came out while I was still in work, so it's
so it's one of those
Road. All those kind of it's that genre kind of game.
Twitch difficult type game.
Yeah. So what I did is there's some Twitch, there's some learning, there's some kind of memory, kind of all mixed in, and
cool.
So it's kind of up to the player to fight his way through, the different areas and learn what the obstacles are going to be, that kind of thing. So that's kind of the deal. The game is, it has 3 main difficulty levels. What we have here on the video is simplicity. So this is the level that it dumps you into initially.
Okay.
When you first play the game, your very first time, it pops up a screen that says, "Hey, do you want touch or tilt?" Because so many people are hard over on one or the other. They really want one. So instead of just deciding for them, I let every player decide on their own, right? So why not? So so it dumps you in here, and simplicity is really just the intro level where it lets people learn how to play the game.
Whoa.
and in general, for a gamer, this level will probably be played on the order of 1 to 5 times before you beat it. And the goal really for this level is just to kind of intro to the game and go, hey, I understand the controls, I know what I'm doing. Yeah. And then get into the meat of the game. And so we'll go through, this is, so that's kind of what it looks like. I'll run through because we've got time.
Man, it runs incredibly smooth.
Thank you. So the 5S, the 5S just crushes everything. So this is real-time glow effects on individual objects, which is actually pretty tough as far as shaders go for a mobile device. So it's great. So as you fly by, you can see the glow on the different objects.
Wow.
And then, there's all kinds of neat stuff that goes on. Different devices have different things enabled as far as the graphics effects. Obviously, the older devices can't do everything the new ones can.
Sure.
But anyway, so that's 60 seconds on simplicity. So we just finished that. I'm going to die. Bam. And then as soon as you finish this, I've obviously played this game before, but as soon as you finish simplicity for the first time, it says, hey, congrats, you're awesome. Now you want to play the real game, here you go. And so futile is the main level where people are probably going to spend most of their time playing. So it's going to take a lot of learning to get through this. And again, the goal is to get 60 seconds, and that unlocks the next 2 levels. So so just to back up a little bit, simplicity is it basically gives you a random level every time. There's some crazy logic to decide what that's going to be. So the difficulty ramp is finely tuned to kind of give people different and exciting things to do. But it's different every time you play it. If you're the kind of person that really likes to play the same level over and over again, to learn it, I put in the daily versions of each of them. So
neat.
Daily simplicity is the same thing, except it'll play the same level over and over and over again.
That's cool.
So that's kind of how that works. Now, however, you have to play the non-dailies and beat that at 60 seconds to unlock the next 2. So it's kind of cheating, right? I think if you can learn it, I want you to get good at it. So, so that unlocks the next 2 levels. So futile is the next level up, and there's a daily and a normal version of that, and then ultra are the next levels.
Oh boy.
So futile is really it's hard. It is tough. So it's common for people to die in 3 seconds on the first time, and after 10 minutes they might get up to 20-25 seconds, and then after days they might beat it. But I think it's really engaging. So this is what futile looks like. So the speed increases. It's considerably faster than simplicity. The obstacles get much harder, and my ability to talk while I'm playing gets much worse. So so that's kind of what it looks like.
This game gives me a panic attack.
That's awesome. I'm all about your panic attack.
Oh. And you're playing with tilt too, but you can.
So by default, it's whatever you pick. There's no default. So but
this is your preferred method.
I like tilt. I'm a pilot as my day job. So I do this on the side. My second full-time job is to run my company, and I prefer tilt because I think it gives me finer control. Some people prefer touch, right?
Yeah.
So what I did is I sat down and designed, and I just died. So that's what futile looks like. But I designed all of the controls to be, I think, seamless, essentially. And I want them to go away. I don't want you to have to worry about the controls. I don't want you... And some of the other kind of Twitch games, I think the controls actually get in the way, you know, where it's over-responsive or whatever. We'll go ahead and show you touch just so you can see it.
So just touch either side of the screen.
It nice blends it in, and it's touch either side of the screen to give you what you want, and it has a nice filter on it, so it's nice and smooth, but it's still really fast. So if you want to just, you know, really go around, the max spin rate you get on either of them, touch or tilt, is exactly the same. I'll just go ahead and die there, and then I'll switch back to tilt because I can talk better there. So, so that's kind of that. Also, if you have an MFI controller, you know, any of them made for iPhone, a Moga, SteelSeries, Stratus, or Logitech, anything, you can turn it on, and I'll show you here. It'll just automatically detect that it's there. You can go to the settings menu. You don't actually have to do anything.
Oh, really?
Eventually, it'll just switch to MFI, just like it says there. So that means that it's detected MFI controller. It automatically switches to that control mode, and consequently it disables touch and tilt, right? So you want it to be able to just do that. There's a sensitivity slider for each control, and it remembers it by themselves. So if you like it really sensitive when you have your controller, that's fine. If you don't, then that's fine. And then anytime you go back and forth, I'll go ahead and turn it off, and it'll switch back.
How about that video recording that I see? What's that all about?
So I chose camcord for this, and so it has video recording built in.
Oh, cool.
And it's standard camcord stuff. So it
just kind of remembers your last run, and you can upload it.
Yeah, exactly. So by default, what I did, because there's so much, you know, it's there's a lot of graphic stuff going on in the game, and when you do video recording, it actually hurts, right? So it causes some more pain. So I have it off by default, so you don't see any frame rate hits or anything like that. But if people want to share their videos, you know, you just go here. I'm sorry, that was settings. The first time you go here, it says, "Hey, dude, you have the video off." Explains a little bit. You make sure you turn it off when you're not using it, because it uses more battery, and you know, the performance isn't as good, that kind of thing. But still, I'll go. Actually, with the HDMI out, it does the same thing twice, so it actually is pretty crushing on it. But we can show you.
That is,
I mean, it still plays fine.
Nice of you to give your players a primer like that.
Yeah, well, it's, you know, I mean, partially it's a support issue, right? I want to make sure people understand what they're doing, and also it's you're asking your phone to do more work. So it's so anyway, so you know, it records video, and then once you have it,
you can share it.
You know, it's here. You can share it. You can go, you know, wow, I'm awesome, or and then share it. And then off you go, right? And so that's kind of it. So that's how it works, and you can share all that stuff, Twitter, Facebook, all that stuff is kind of standard, you know, has all the sharing stuff that you're supposed to have, whatever, all that stuff. So standard Game Center leaderboards, stuff, all kinds of settings, and then it's got, you know, you can challenge your friends, that kind of stuff is all built in, so that you can, you know, share with your friends or say how awesome you are because you just scored, you know, like we did 13.8 seconds on futile. So, so that's kind of futile mode. Again, daily is the same, you know, it's the same thing every time, so you can learn it.
You can practice.
But you've got to get 60 seconds on the main futile mode to unlock Ultra, and Ultra is really, it's the no kidding hardcore.
The face melting mode?
Yeah, the face melt, really, really tough.
Well, let's see some Ultra then.
So for the people that are really looking for really tough, Ultra is it, and I'm just going to let you watch because I can't even talk while I play it. So we get things like the obstacles now turn while you're playing. Yeah, and then you get stuff like this where if you're off by just a smidge, you just die.
This is messed up, man.
So this is really meant for the hardcore crowd.
Whoa. You did pretty good.
So that's a 20-second run on Ultra. Now,
that was good.
I've been playing the game a year and a half, right? So it's
So how does this compare to flying a jet?
Well, it's obviously different, right? But I mean, it's the same, you know, I mean, anything. It's you learn controls and you figure out what you need to do. This obviously has some more obstacle avoidance than flying airplanes.
Right, yeah.
But they're both, I think they're both a blast. So that's kind of Ultra. You know, you can see this is the same level, but it generates it randomly. So it's the same. In this case, the first part has the same 2 obstacle sets, and then it switches to different ones. The order isn't the same every time, but you can learn the different obstacles. So the first time you see this, and now that you guys have all watched this video, you can cheat because you've seen it. You know,
that was kind of how Super Hexagon was too. It's like you remembered certain sections, even though they came in randomly.
Yep. Yeah, and it's kind of the same way. So in each of the sections, there's some sections that within each section it's random, different times, and some sections are more static in that they're the same each time. And on the easier levels, there's more of them are, I guess, the same every time, if that makes sense, right?
Sure. Okay.
And the harder it gets, right? So that's kind of the deal. So it is. It is coming out soon. That is, I submitted it this last week to Apple.
Oh, it's submitted.
And
okay.
It is submitted. This is version 1.0 we're seeing here.
Yeah.
My plan is to not release it for a little bit, coordinating, launch with press, you guys, and Apple, and all those kind of things, hopefully. And then on top of that, my actual plan is to have an update in the queue probably before launch even.
Yeah.
So this is kind of the initial version to show you guys, show Apple,
cool,
get it ready to go, get it approved, and then there'll probably be one more update coming soon before it actually goes live. And if not before it goes live, it'll be shortly after that. There's just a couple other things I'd like to add, and I won't spill the beans on those in case I decide not to do it and take that.
That's always smart. Yeah.
But anyway, so that's Unpossible. What else you got?
It looks rad,
Thanks.
and it kind of freaks me out. And
Good.
I like that. And I'm really looking forward to checking it out when it releases. So we'll let everyone know when that happens. But Brian, thanks for demoing it and being so good at it that you could actually get somewhere, because I would have just instantly died over and over again.
Oh, we'll let you play after we're done talking.
Okay, all right.
Awesome. Thanks, Jared.
Thanks, Brian.